Hello and welcome back to Infinite Realms. As I said, there were two crowdfunded HeMan and the Masters of the Universe miniature-based games. They were very similar, which was really surprising. Both of them had a Snake Man set. Both of them had a Hordak set. And a lot of the character choices were very similar too, which is kind of interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just sit down. I'm going to look at and compare them. One of the games was, of course, by CMON. Of course, CMON is famous for Zombicide and, for me, Song of Ice and Fire miniatures game. But their version was called Masters of the Universe, the board game Clash for Eternia. Now, in Europe, they had the exclusive from Archonstudios, Masters of the Universe Fields of Eternia. Slight difference in name, and from what I've been reading, slight difference in gameplay. I'm not going to try to run down the gameplay in this video. Again, I'm all about the minis. I want to look at the miniatures. I want to see, because, you know, the next thing is once I get these miniatures, I want to paint them. And that's going to be the big deal. So, let's just kick it off and let's get down to the miniatures. Now, up front, I'm going to say I did, of course, back the CMON version because I live in America. That's the one I have access to. If I lived in Europe, I would have backed the Archon one, but, you know, again, that's all about geography. So, in that, I'm going to try, you know, not to produce sour grapes towards the Archon one because I can never get it. It's not my kind of thing. I really just want to look at the minis, compare them, and just see which one looks really good. Well, hopefully we'll be able to run that down pretty quickly. So front and center, we have HeMan, the star of the show, we'll say. And we got the CMON version, which has that epic, iconic pose of when he's calling down the power of Grayskull. It looks great. It looks like a great mini. It's the one that I looked at and went, I have to have that. That's perfect. I love it. To me, it you know, cemented me to this game right away because of that miniature. Now, versus the European one, it looks pretty good. I'm not going to say it looks bad, but it looks like almost like he was just about to call down the power of Grayskull, or maybe he just did. In that, I mean, it's not quite as dynamic of a pose. Now, of course, it includes his shield, which is pretty awesome. But, you know, it's a different pose. It's not that same iconic pose that we're used to. It's just it's almost the pose. It just falls short, and is the best way I can describe it. I don't really know any other way to say it. It's a good miniature, but it's not the miniature. It's kind of like the best other comparison I can say is, you know, there is the version of HeMan with the battle axe in the CMON game. That's a good figure. It's a nice bonus figure, but it's not the HeMan that we would look for. We want HeMan with his sword high in the air calling down the power of Grayskull. And I don't know how much communication went on between these two companies, but I think it's funny that the poses are kind of close, but, you know, CMON nailed it. And the Archon just came a little bit step away from it. Definitely got to give it to CMON on that particular miniature. I'm not going to do star ratings for this, by the way. I'm just going to go down and I'm going to go, which one do I think is better, and be done with it that way. Up next is Teela, who, you know, some have questioned whether she's a love interest for HeMan, or should she be, but she's a big character in Masters of the Universe. And the CMON version, again, a dynamic pose, a tough pose, very reminiscent of the toy. Very strong, very good. I do like the miniature. Then we pop over to Archon Studios version, and I will say from their set, I mean, I like the base, but everything else about this figure I don't like. And I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's the snake staff behind her, the pose. I'm not sure what it is. It's the sculpt, the way the hair's going. There's something about this one I just despise. This one I really, really hate from that set. And I will say up front, it's the only one I really hate from that set, but I just don't like it. It's just, I don't know, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't have any idea what it is about this figure I hate, but I just hate it. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Obviously, CMON really knocked it out of the park for me with that one. I don't know what happened there with Archon Studios. It's just, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Then everybody's favorite magician, Orko. The CMON one, I do love how he's balanced on a rock there. That's kind of a neat trick. Almost makes him float, but you can kind of see how they did it. It's kind of cute and kind of funny, and Orko is going to be a fun one to paint. I can say that right now. The Archon Studio one, it's a pretty similar idea. Of course, I used a brick wall instead, but it works. I don't like the pose as much. It looks like he's more angry than anything. I mean, he looks like he's just had it up to here with somebody's stuff, and he's just going to get mad. It's not terrible, though. I mean, no way. Again, CMON I thought did much better. It gets that floating effect much better than the Archon one. I don't want to down it, but at the same time, I mean, if I'm comparing, I'm going to have to go with CMON. Next up is Redman, and Redman has, well, he rams. I mean, that's what he does. It's a pretty cool sculpt from CMON. I like it. I like it a whole lot. And then again, we look over here at Archon, and it's a very similar sculpt, a very similar idea. I like them both. They're a little bit different. CMON does have the axe, which is a nice plus, but I'd have to give this one a tie because it's just nothing different about them. We'll move on to Stratos. Stratos is kind of special to me. He was kind of my first Masters of the Universe figure. At the time, HeMan had sold out, and he was like the only one of the heroes on the peg, so I grabbed him. Really liked him. I had the reversed one that had the red jetpack and the blue wings. Most people remember the red wings. I do think when I get it, I'm going to paint it as the reverse one just because that's the one I had. I always kind of liked the character. I always thought he was pretty cool. The CMON, I really like that they implemented the jetpack in there. That's fun because that's a nice add-on to have. We'll go over to the Archon Studios one. This is one where he's landing, which is not a bad idea. I mean, it's solid. I do prefer the one that he's taking off. I just think that's a lot better and more, for lack of a better term, iconic. I just feel like Stratos taking off is better than Stratos landing. Not that I would reject this one under any circumstances. Just that slight bit of preference does make a difference. So then we move on to Man-at-Arms. The fun thing is they added the mustache for Man-at-Arms with CMON, which I thought was a great move. I like this pose for him. He's battle ready and getting ready to get into a fight while maintaining the toughness we expect from Man-at-Arms. With the Archon Studio one, though, again, he does have the mustache, but the pose there's something I don't like about it. Maybe it's the 1 foot on the ground getting ready to swing. I'm not sure, because I keep thinking he's going to be so off balance when he actually swings because he's running too. I mean, that's just the way it looks. I mean, it's just doesn't it's not the same kind of pose. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. It's like he just looks not balanced at this moment, and looks like he's gonna not be able to follow through with whatever move he's getting ready to do. Again, the bases are better. I like those a lot better than what we got from CMON, but the figure itself I'm not too enamored with. Again, gotta give it to CMON on that one. And then we move on to She-Ra. Now, in the process of this Kickstarter, I believe it was Michael Chanel said they were locked into the toys look, which is odd to me, but that's okay. And as far as the toys go, this is a good likeness of She-Ra. She's, you know, again in that iconic, you know, for the honor of Grayskull, I have the power pose. And I never really liked her figure, but I like this figure better probably because the dress is not quite as frilly. It's, you know, it looks like a real dress rather than having those frills on it that I always didn't like about She-Ra. Now, for some reason, Archon Studios got to do She-Ra as she was in the cartoon, which is a look I prefer. I wish we knew the reasons behind all this. I know there's some crazy licensing through Mattel, but yeah, I really prefer this She-Ra over the CMON one. Again, it's just look that they were able to go with. This is the one I would like to paint. Again, it's a preference thing. It's pure and simple. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Infinite Realms.